Yo, long time no see, but what is going on, and welcome back to another video. Happy Father's Day. Today we're watching a disturbing video with a lot of great points, mainly on why it is very important to have physical strength, mental strength when it comes to being a father figure, So as you guys know, I do have 15 plus years of fatherhood experience. So with that said, let's get right into the video.
Before we play this, parents, the reason why I'm showing this is because I think parents are not aware of this enough. Here's a guy who's a convicted child predator being interviewed. Tom, have you seen this before or no? Jed, have you seen this before?
Not.
Okay.
I have not.
Frank, have you seen this?
No.
It's so disturbing, it's not even funny, but it's so necessary because the interviewer gets exactly how he groomed young boys before molesting them. It's a 2-minute clip. Again, brace for impact. Parents, I highly recommend you watch this for your own self and start teaching your kids.
He said boys, but mainly females are mainly targeted, but yeah, boys, little boys as well.
Before they come across somebody like this. Go ahead, Rob.
How did you get them alone?
Grooming. I would check out their family situation. I would check out their clothing to see how well they were, financially. I would check out their social interaction with other kids. When we were on the ballparks or on the gym floor, I would make sure which ones I wanted to molest. I would give them special attention, congratulate them, talk to them when I know that I would never be allowed to talk to anybody else. Aside from everybody, I would give them the attention that an official is not supposed to give anybody, and it made them feel like, wow, he's paying me attention.
I'm gonna pause it right here. This guy has committed these acts when it comes to being a predator. So these individuals, they're like chameleons, so they get into positions in society where kids are vulnerable, teachers, counselors, freaking coaches, whatever it is, where they're around children, and then this is what he's explained, where he's able to tell which kid he can, choose as his victim, pretty much. Let's continue.
It is a direct form of grooming.
Were there certain characteristics that you looked for in children before molesting them?
In children, yes, but more I
Here we go.
also looked at their families.
There you go.
If I thought the father was a threat,
This is very important.
I would not approach the child.
Bingo.
If I thought that the child had friends that he would tell, I would not approach him. If I thought the child had friends that were in the same capacity he was, I would approach him. For the simple fact that if I could molest him, I could lure him into grooming him into believing that he would enjoy it. And therefore, I could manipulate him into having his other friends come and be molested by me as well.
So perhaps a child that doesn't really have a whole lot of friends, maybe not really a strong family, things like that.
Yes, no spiritual values.
No spiritual values.
Weak in education, needs help in many ways. Even from split parenting, has a mother who may be having problems with the family, well, here comes superhero in to help out, wow, well, thank you very much. No problem. You ever need me to take him away for the night so you can have a night out? No problem. It works.
So the main thing that's important right there is the first thing he looked for was the father a threat? Is the kid, before he chose the kid as a victim, He had to make sure that the kid came from a pretty much a broken family, fatherless family, because if the father is a threat, well then he can't mess with that child. He has to move on and pick another victim, right? That's why it's extremely important as a man, as the head of the household, as the man of the house, as a provider, as a protector, to be in tip-top physical peak shape, not only physically but mentally and emotionally as well. That's number 3. You know, that's very important, and I can give you guys an example of this. When my daughter was in 1st, 2nd grade, I went to parent-teacher conferences, right? And for the first time, I went there. And I'm not saying, you know, like, there's adults who are creeps, but little boys can be creeps too, right? You know, if they have a little girl they have a crush on, they like, they're gonna pick on her, they're gonna mess with her, you know, who knows what they're gonna do, right? So I remember this clearly. I went, must have been 1st, 2nd grade, right? To parent-teacher conference, and I remember being in her classroom, and all the little boys were outside or in another class. They were outside in the hallway somewhere, and like 4 or 5 different little boys, they were like, I want to see Cassie's dad. I want to see Cassie's dad. I want to see Cassie's dad. So they would come into the room like 1 or 2 at a time and take a look at me and be like, oh, and then look down and walk out. And it was so funny because at that time, my baby mother was there and she was just laughing. These were her words. She was like, ha ha ha, laughing. The little boys want to see you because they want to see if they can creep on Cassie. And that is very, very true.